Hello guys, welcome back. In the last episode, we have been seeing how you could actually get a particular post from the database. So in this episode, we're gonna see how to retrieve the content of the post that we have retrieved earlier uh, using an API. So before we get into today's episode, I have few things that I haven't been completely concluded in the previous episode. So let me get to them. So the first thing is I'm thinking after ending of the episode, I was thinking why shouldn't it should be limited to only post method? So even in the browser it should work. I mean the API should work. So I just try to convert that. Okay. So while converting, I just came across this thing. So actually when you're passing a parameter in the browser, you use the question mark, like it's a get method. Okay. So to do that, we need to split the question mark because they still stay in the body. So I do that. So right now, instead of using dollar underscore post, I'm using dollar underscore request. Okay. So dollar underscore request is going to hold both get and post body. Okay. So that's a good one here. So that's the changes we made here. And coming to our previous one, so I mean the actual method here, the get method. So I modified it like this. So it takes the category and post ID, guys. So by default, if there is no category, so it takes a question mark. I mean, it just sets to a star or equals to one, so it will always work. So this is how I change this query here. So category equals dollar category and post equal to post. So how this works is in case if the category hasn't been given, so using the R clause, it's going to be always set to true. So whatever the category is, it doesn't know, it doesn't fail. Okay. So that's how we just did it. So it could go to the code. So it's nothing but this string concatenation here. Okay. So small updates over there. So now in this episode, we are talking about reading, right? So yep. So for that, we already got our read method here. Okay. So yep. So let me write the route first. Okay. So I already wrote. So it's a read post. So right now reading post only occurs for the one single post at a time. Okay, one single post can only be read at a time. Okay, so that's how we're gonna break it. Okay, so let me copy this from here. Okay, so I'll modify the get into the read. Okay, yep. So yeah, let me go here. Okay, so first of all, we need to make sure whatever the user requesting. Okay, so here if you see, so we need a post ID and a revision ID to get the content from here. So when the user had both post ID and the revision ID, I'm gonna get all the parts into an array and send them to the user in the array format. So either in the key value pair or whatever it is. So we're gonna use the part to index the actual array. So it may be starting from 0 or 1. It doesn't matter. So it always been seems to be fine for that. Okay, let's do this. Okay. So instead of starting from 0, so I want to change this post part to like 0. So it will be really good one if we do that. So or you could just leave it from 1. So that's up to you. So for the database level, I'll be leaving that to 1, and in the programming level, we'll be changing that to 0. Okay. So let's do this. So I'll take the raw request. Okay. So reading post is also an open API, so we doesn't need to make sure it's only be limited to the post. So it could go with the request. Okay, so dollar underscore request, both get and post methods will work in this. Okay, so first thing I need to get is the post ID. Okay, the post ID is the most important thing here, so we definitely need that. In case if user fails to give this, I'll just stop it. Okay, so the next one is the revision ID. Okay, so in case the revision ID is not existing, so then also we are going to stop the process. Okay, so I'll write this other thing here. Okay, I'll check. So if I get the post on ID, okay, so no underscore or something for that because they are using get method. Okay, so yeah, I'll simply return it as the response 400. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'll put the status as 400 as I did here. Okay, so status to 400, and I'm gonna stop. So I need also to mention the actual information to the user, so what actually happened. Okay, I'll get that information, like we already wrote that kind of errors. Yep. So this is how the error would be displayed. Okay, so it's about the post, and it's provided, not tell the provided, let's say post id or revision id doesn't exist. Okay, so error is like attributes, like let's say parameters. So we need both revision id and this one, so it doesn't matter. So let's copy this here and put an or clause here and put there. So I'll say revision id. Okay, so now we got the post id and revision id, so I'll use this $request to store them in my variables. Yep. Okay, so I got post id and revision id, so it's now a simple query to get the data and send it to the front end. Okay, I'll just copy this from here. Yeah. Okay, let me tell you the query. Okay, so let me explain you the query so that we could proceed to the forward. Okay, so right now we are going to go through our database here, SQL. Yeah. So assume I want to retrieve my content through post id, so like we need post id, right? So post id, and for now, like revision id is 0. Revision, so did I just put this revision, or okay, it's it yep, it's post underscore revision. Revision for the second, yep, 0. Yeah, fine. So, and I want to order it by the post part. Okay, based on the post part I want to order it. Okay, so let's go. So now I could see the data has been retrieved for the post id 2 and post revision 0, and it has been ordered by the post part. Okay, so this is our simple query here. I'm gonna copy it. Put it there. Yep. Yep, so in the post part I'll replace it with post underscore id here, and post underscore revision will be replaced by revision underscore id. So now we are good here. Okay, so we are just good to go. So I'm gonna retrieve all of them. No, we are not gonna retrieve all of them actually. So we are going to retrieve the post id, the post part, and the post content. So we doesn't need to retrieve the post revision for now. Okay, it's not required. So I'll just put it. So I need the post underscore. Anyway, we doesn't need the post id because the post id is always the same for all of the three. So we need only these two, the post part and post content. So I'll say post underscore part along with the post underscore content. Okay, so actually the post part would make the user confused in the front end, so I'll remove that. So let's only keep the post content. So it is an array which is like a just an array sorted based on the part itself. Okay, we're good to go here. So now let's use the browser here. I'll say get read post id is 2, and revision id is equal to 0. So yep, so we got something here, so which is really not good at all. That's not just good, it's been highlighted. So because I mean HTML has been parsing off that thing here, and it just worked really good. So yeah, let's use the postman here instead of this. It will be really good if we do that. Duplicate. Yep. So I'll say this as read. Oops, okay. Oops, there is a little bit problem, glitch. Okay, post, and the body I want to send is the post id, so we just need to remove all this. So post id, which is 2 in our case, and the revision is 0. If we click send, yep, something gone wrong. Okay, it's a revision ID actually. Yep, that should be good. Did we make anything wrong here? So it's a post ID and a revision ID. Okay, so I think, holy moly. Okay, so I just forgot to just change. So when we are pushing the get, so the form data isn't been collected. So when I just switch to post, it's been collecting. So that's the problem. I figured it out. So now if you set to JSON, you could see, so it's been neat, just aligned as it should be looking. So you could see everything is like post content. So we actually doesn't need it to, but I'm putting it. So yeah, so we could also put that in an array. So it always has been sorted. So I could do that. So here instead of result of I could say it is post content. Okay, so now it's just an array of the actual HTML content. So I could use this HTML content to display in the front end. Okay, so if we do the get post here, if I refresh here, you could see now I'm getting a data which is an array, but due to HTML tags inside that, it's just passing out. So we just need to think of a different way for doing that. I mean the JSON. So it actually just happens to JSON when you are retrieving the HTML. It just gets passing by the browser. Okay, that's okay for now. So later we're gonna think of the ways like we're gonna handle it to JavaScript. That's not a big problem there. Okay, so that's it for this episode, guys. I hope you guys liked it, and make sure you just subscribe if you haven't done, and share this series with your friends who are really interested in learning. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye bye.